Ex Supermax cook sentenced for lying about sex with an inmate. This all happened when I worked at the Supermax as an inmate in the culinary school that's in the Adx Supermax in Florence, Colorado. I'm going to tell you all about that in just a second. Please, if you can subscribe, doesn't cost you anything. I'm just trying to build subscribers. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers. There's a little bell. Click the bell. Hit the all notifications. Every time I do a video, you'll get notified that there's a video. And hit the thumbs up, the like button. I appreciate it. Please leave a comment, and I'll answer every comment. So I got a comment about more Supermax stories. So my name is Sean Cowgill. I did 52 months at a prison camp, a federal prison camp in Florence, Colorado. At the camp, they use campers to go, because we have no fences. We can go in and out of the camp all day long, and they use us as workers over at the Supermax, at the penitentiary, and at the medium, because all those guys are on super lockdown. If you know anything about the Supermax, that's where El Chapo is, the Unabomber, the Boston bomber, the Shoe bomber, the Oklahoma City bomber, the United Nations bomber, all kinds of terrorists there. And those guys never get out of their cell. Supposedly they're supposed to get out once an hour, once a day for an hour. But what it is a little slot opens up, and they go out into a little cage, and then they're still in their cell. It's a little cage with a. If they're lucky, they open up the top, and then the sun can come through, but they'll never even see the mountains. If they're lucky, they'll see the sky once an hour. Anyways, so I spent most of my time working at the Supermax as a camper, and then I come back to the camp at night. So my first year, so I did a 52-month sentence. I did half that time in prison. The rest I got out early because I took programs like the RDAP program that gives you a year off your sentence. And there's a few other programs. And I talk about it in my other videos. At the end of this, I'll leave a link, and you can learn how to get out of federal prison early. So 52 months is 4 years and 4 months. I did 27 months total in the prison, another 5 months at a halfway house, and now I'm on federal probation. My crime was wire fraud. I did tax returns for homeless people, for tweakers, for drug addicts. I got them all kinds of money. I took a little cut out of that. The government came after me. I owe the government $1.7 million now. The government wants me to pay back all the refunds. Yes, it was a crime. I did it, and I'll never do it again. But they get to keep the refunds, and I have to pay everything back. Well, do the time. Do the crime, and that's what happens. So let me talk about, so I've done another video about my culinary school at the Supermax. I haven't talked a whole lot about the other job when I was kind of cooking at the Supermax. And yeah, I was El Chapo's private chef, you might say. That was my last year there. But when I first got there, I'm going to read this article to you. Actually, I got two articles. I'm going to leave a link for this newspaper article, so you can read the paper for yourself. But the first one says, ex-Supermax employee pleads guilty. So her name was Tammy Karasawa. And so this is out of Denver, because this is where, since it's the BOP and it's the Department of Justice, they have the big trial up in Denver. A former cook foreman of Supermax at Florence pleaded guilty this week to lying to investigators by denying that she was in a sexual relationship with an inmate. Tammy Karasawa entered the plea in Denver at the U.S. District Court for Colorado. Supermax is the nation's highest security prison. So in a court document Karasawa signed, she admitted that she and an inmate who worked in the kitchen warehouse began having sexual activity in the summer of 2017. In August 2017, a co-worker of Karasawa reported to superiors seeing her and the inmate kissing in the warehouse, and that would be Miss Daniels caught him. It's another lady there. So this is where she pleads guilty. This article is a better one. So this is ex-Supermax cook sentence. How much time do you think she got for lying about having sex with an inmate? Because in the first article, she just said she only kissed him. Well, she got caught kissing him. But I'm going to tell you, it was going on for a while. So here it says, a former prison cook foreman, whoever wrote this, Pueblo, have you ever been to Pueblo, Colorado? No wonder. Was sentenced Monday to serve 2 years on probation for lying to investigators by denying she has been in a sexual relationship with an inmate. 2 years probation. The punishment was imposed in Denver by Judge Christine M. Arguello of the U.S. District Court for Colorado on Tammy Karasawa, 44 years old. She worked at the Supermax prison in Florence. In a court document the defendant signed, she admitted that she and an inmate who worked in the kitchen warehouse began having sexual activity in the summer of 2017. So I got there in May of 2017, and I started working at Supermax in July. So I knew this Tammy, but I'd only been working with her a couple months before she got busted. A co-worker of Karasawa reported to superiors seeing her and the inmate kissing in the warehouse, and that was Mrs. Daniels because she was looking for her. Agents of the Justice Department's Office of the Inspector General said they conducted a voluntary interview with Karasawa. The prison is part of the Justice Department. Anyways, when she pleaded guilty earlier this year, she admitted she lied by telling the agents that she had not been sexually involved with her inmate. So she said they were only kissing. We all knew what was really going on. Here she says, I know what I did was wrong. Karasawa told the judge on Monday, I'm so sorry. If I could go back and change it, I would. Here's a typo. They wrote Sarasawa, and her name is Karasawa. These editors, God. Speaking of editing, I don't even know how to edit on this YouTube. That's why I just run my videos through. I just downloaded this shot cook something, some video editor, and I looked at it. It's crazy. I don't know how to do it. All these help me YouTube video editor YouTube things I watch, and you got this line that goes like this and this and this, and click here and move this and this. And here, I went to prison for wire fraud because I was some kind of a computer genius. Yeah, now I can't even edit a video. Anyways, I'll just leave that in because I can't take it out. So she got 2 years. Oh, and she was ordered to perform 100 hours of community service under the direction of a probation officer. So that's all she got. It says here the sentencing guidelines recommended a sentence of 0 to 6 months in custody. But the prosecutor, the defense attorney, and a court officer who prepared a report for the judge all recommended a term of 2 years of probation. So they watch out for their own. She could have done 6 months, in custody. That probably would have been home confinement anyways. So she's got 2 years probation. So here's what happened from my point of view. You can read all the papers you want, but I was there. So at the Supermax, first of all, when we get there, an inmate drives us over in a van. We got no cops around us, and we're at a camp. We can go in and out. We got to go through security ourselves. We got to go through 2 sets of fences, and they pat us down, and we go through a metal detector. And I was at the culinary school, so when I get in there, then we put on our chef coats and our chef hats, and we're ready to. We got a school going on there. We got real teachers. I got a real culinary certificate, a serve safe certificate, a restaurant management certificate, all real from Pueblo Community College. So we were in a different part of the kitchen, but it's a huge kind of warehouse kitchen place, and there's 4 walk-ins. These are huge walk-ins. So 2 of them are freezer walk-ins and 2 of them are refrigerator walk-ins. But the third one is both. It's a big refrigerator walk-in, then another door that opens up inside with another refrigerator walk-in area, and then off to that side is another freezer refrigerator walk-in area. And there's certain times of the day when none of the cops are around. I mean, I've had to go look for somebody because, I need something for because we got to put out food every day. I'm looking for the line, maybe they've got something locked up and I got to get something. I need a tool because they don't in the culinary school. So when it comes to cutting with our knives, the knives are always on this big cable. And so they come out in the morning with these knives, and they clip them to these cables, and they clip the cables to the wall. And we got about a 20-foot distance we can walk with the knife. I mean, it's just Supermax, so they got to be secure. But sometimes, we need to get our knives. We need something. Something opened up, we're out of this, we're out of that, we're looking for a guard. And there's times when they're all gone. They're on their break, they're smoking a lot, they're outside smoking. Sometimes they're delivering food because they do 3 meals a day there. Besides the culinary school, they feed the inmates. They do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and that's all brought out in these big hot carts that are pushed down hallways. And so sometimes they're all gone. So Tammy, let me tell you a little about Tammy. So it says she's 44 years old. She was kind of cute. You know the actress Drew Barrymore? She looked like an older version of her. I remember when I first got there, she's real loud, like, "Hi, I'm Tammy." I remember sitting at this little break table, and we're looking through these magazines, and there's these pictures of these girls, and one of the guys next to me is going, "Oh, check out this chick." And she comes up, and she goes, "None of them are as pretty as me. None of those bitches are as hot as I am." And then she walked away, and she'd make comments like that all day long. And I remember when I first got there, she goes, "Oh, you're a new guy here. I'm going to have to give you the special tour later." And that never happened. But she flirted with you all the time. So we used to notice, we knew what was going on. It was this guy named Ramirez that she was having an affair with. I didn't really know him personally. He was kind of like, he was like half white and half Mexican, and he wasn't, like, he wasn't a paisa, and he wasn't a white boy. He was a drug dealer guy that got caught. And I think he had a 2 or 3 year sentence. Anyways, so they go in that third walk-in. So you go through the first walk-in, you open up the doors. Inside of that one, you go in another room, and so it's 3 walk-ins in one. And the last one's a freezer. They'd stay in the middle section so nobody could see them because all these walk-ins have windows. And they were going in there. And, we used to wonder, is something going on? They're always in there for a while. Because when they're done, they come out with all these cases of, French fries and chicken. And they did come out with a cart full of stuff. So it made it look like they were stacking. They had a little cart, and they'd stack it with all the boxes of food and produce or whatever they were getting out of there. So they always made it look like they were working. But they always stayed in there about a half an hour. And we kind of knew what was going on because we used to go, "Oh, yeah." And he'd go, "Yeah. She'd go, "Sure." So this one particular day, Miss Daniels came outside, and because all the guards used to go out and smoke, they'd be on their breaks, whatever, but she came back early, and she was looking for Tammy. And I remember she came up. "Do you guys know where Tammy or Karasawa is?" And we don't know. We knew where she was, and we saw her go in the first walk-in, the second walk. We saw her go in the third walk-in. Like, oh shit! And then she went through the second set of doors, and she didn't come out for a good 5 minutes. And then when she came out, first thing we saw was, look, and Ramirez comes walking out, and he goes right into the office. And Daniels came out. She's walking with Tammy, and they all went in the office. And next thing you know, the bigwigs came. Next thing you know, here comes the associate warden, the warden. All these suits came in, and everybody went in the office. And I remember they came out and told us, "You guys keep working. Don't pay any attention to this. You guys just get the food out, do what you got to do." And nobody could say anything. So then we knew something was up. We knew something was up. The next week or two, they questioned all of us inmates. They questioned every single guard. We didn't see Tammy anymore. We didn't see him anymore. They took him away. They put him in the SHU. Now, he could have sued for sexual abuse, sexual harassment from a guard, and he could have probably got a sentence reduced, got some money. But what I understand, he kept his mouth shut. She had a husband that worked at the penitentiary, Mr. Karasawa. Now, I've met him. because when the penitentiaries have fights and they shank people and they get, they have their fight, they go on lockdown. The campers have to go over and work the food line and make their food. So that happened quite often. So I was working over at the penitentiary one lockdown time, and I met her husband, and he's loud and crazy too. He's a Japanese guy, Karasawa. And you wonder, why was she cheating on him with an inmate? Well, you know what they say about Japanese guys. I don't know. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I also heard they were swingers, and we heard a lot of stories about her. We heard that she was a stripper before she was a guard, and I wouldn't put it past her. I would have said no to her, hell. But yeah, so when all this happened, so she got put on like a stay-at-home probation from her job, but then they brought her back and they had her working at the training center for the next 2 years while she was waiting this trial. The training center's a place where all the guards go, and they have towers they climb up, and they shooting range and all that stuff's over there. So they had her work there where she had very little contact with inmates. And I guess when she finally got sentenced, 2 years probation, 100 hours community service, I guess she doesn't have her job anymore, but she'll be all right. But it's quite interesting. There's another one here about an ex-officer gets probation in a sexual contact. So I didn't know this one. This is Emily Cooper, and she worked at the Medium facility, and it says she was touching a guy, touched the inmate's private parts through his clothes on approximately 12 occasions in 2017. So this stuff happens, guys. These female guards, man, some of them are fucking horny. I'm going to tell you, man. And there was a few at the camp that used to flirt and, heard a few other things. So thanks for listening to my Supermax story. Please subscribe. Leave me a comment. I will answer you back. I hope you will appreciate these videos. Thanks for watching.